Hi guys, thank you and welcome to 2020. So this year our first video gonna be a first review. I believe gonna be the first launch or at least my first purchase of 2020, and that's gonna be Tati Beauty new launch, and that's gonna be for the Blendiful Beauty Puff right here. So I've been using this for my whole face, and this is gonna be my first day trying them for this makeup look. So if you're interested to see how this work out and how I feel about this puff, stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel right down below. Hit the bell button right here for notification of next week video. I post every single Wednesday on YouTube and a shorter version on Instagram every single Friday. And follow me on all my social media at bella.c. That's now. Okay, let's get puffing. Okay, let's start this out. So to start out, I already moisturized my face and I already put on my primer, and the primer I used today is the OleHenriksen Banana Bright Primer. That's everybody's favorite. And now we're gonna go in deep dive and unboxing or unzipping or untearing these bags from Tati Beauty Blendiful. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about this one. So Tati Beauty just recently launched a few days ago a new product, and the first product is actually the palette, Tati Beauty palette right here, and I already did a review of this one. I'm gonna leave a link right down below so you can see the review of this one. And now she just launched new products, and that's gonna be the Blendiful Beauty Puff. So this is the packaging of the Blendiful right here. So it comes in like really clean, sleek, black packaging. It's the same color of the packaging of the Tati Beauty palette, which is nice because it's really cohesive. It's right here, and the letter is also raised, and it's foil, and then the back is right here. It's also say no harsh line XO Tati, and also on the back is have a cleaning instruction. It say machine wash on dry and delicate laundry bag, or gently hand wash in warm soapy water, rinse thoroughly and blot dry. Do not bleach, do not dry clean. 100% polyester. How do you say that? Polyurethane? Or something like that. Yeah. Can you imagine bring this one to your dry cleaner? Like, can you clean my puff? And now it's really squishy. The back feel really nice, and the price of this one is $18 each. And in each bag is actually have two products. It's the Tati Blendiful and the one Blendiful and one baby Blendiful. Is that what it is? So this one, she said you can use this for a primer, foundations, concealer, contouring, powder, highlight. Practically you can use everything with just one of these puffs. So we're gonna see. We're not gonna use a beauty blender today. We're just gonna fully use this puff on everything. So I did bought two just in case I end up liking it. Then I have one for to use later, or yeah. So first to unbox this one is coming like this, and you're just gonna unzip this like so. Ooh. And inside there is two products. The first one is the Tati Beauty Big Puff. And it's right here when you first unboxing it. It feels so squishy. So this is where you're gonna apply your makeup, and this is the back where you can hold your hand. I like it how it's nice. You can fit like your whole hand in it, like this, and it's really like nice and squishy. The other products that I have in there is the one Baby Blendiful, and this is super cute. So this come like this. It's like a mini one. It's more like a heart shape. It's so cute. It's like a heart shaped beauty puff. I mean, if you flip like this, it might look like something else, but you know. What it feel like is kind of like one of those makeup eraser fabric kind of thing that you use this to take off your makeup, but I guess you're using this to put on makeup. So now we're just gonna start out applying all complexions and foundations using only the Tati Beauty puff and nothing else. I'm kind of nervous. So I'm just gonna go in with my regular foundations because right now we're just gonna review how the puff acts. So I'm just gonna go in with doing my normal routine, normal complexion. So I'm gonna go in with my favorite Fenty Beauty foundations. It's number 240, and I'm gonna mix a little bit of half and half of the McGrath Lab Skin Fetish foundations because it does have a little bit more shade darker and it's gonna match my skin a little bit more better. Okay, now that I have my foundation on the back of my hand, and she said this one you can use for foundation is easily glide on foundation with a sweet buffing motion to achieve flawless airbrush look. I'm so nervous because it's so weird and awkward to use like a fluffy fabric sponge to apply makeup, but we're gonna see. So I'm just gonna dab this in here and just applying like this into the puff. That's interesting because I feel like it's already taking out a lot of makeup already, but like, I'm not sure, do you supposed to blend like tap or use like swipe? Because I feel like this is the same motion you use to like taking off your makeup, but now you're using the same sponge you're applying on your makeup. So this is how you're supposed to, I guess, apply your liquid foundations. And it's already weird because usually you use this with like a beauty blender that is more like a synthetic, so it doesn't soak in a lot into the beauty blender, but this is more like a fiber cloth that you use to apply your makeup with. And it's kind of weird, like does the fiber sometimes fall into your makeup? It's kind of like how the fiber of your brushes stay on your face, and this have more like microfiber, so does that gonna end up sticking to your foundations over time? It's gonna start clumping. But the first thing I noticed is does take a little bit more of the makeup than usual, than you putting on like with a brush, I would say, because I'm not sure if it's like soaking to the sponge or what, because usually this is going to be my whole entire face, but I'm already out of foundations and I'm already like only half a face done, so I feel like it does take a little bit more makeup than it's supposed to be. The one thing that I can say that this does applying your foundation a little bit more quicker, because I guess this have a little bit more surface for you to work with, so you can just like swipe and practically get the whole thing on your face. It's a little bit more quicker with the foundations. So here is the first pass of my foundation so far. I feel like it does take a lot of my foundation out, so I feel like I need a little bit more foundation. So I'm gonna go in and mix a little bit more of my foundations. So usually a pump of Fenty foundation and a pump of the McGrath gonna cover my whole face and my neck area, but since this, I feel like it does take a little bit more of the foundation from you. I just have to go in and use a little bit more foundations. But so far it's pretty good. It's actually blending. It's blending a little bit more better than I thought it would be. Compared to the brush, it's gonna give you a little bit more like a lighter coverage, I would say. Because I guess because of the buffing and swiping motions, it's gonna give you a little bit more sheer coverage, and you can definitely building up with the coverage. But I love how this one is fitting your hand really nicely. Okay, so here is the first look of my complexion after applying with the Tati Beauty Blendiful sponge, and this is what it's gonna look like right after you applying it. And yeah, so still interesting to me, but I'm really surprised at how well it's actually blended out using like a sponge cloth instead of like a beauty blender or a brush. This is like a new way to applying liquid foundations, because I wouldn't imagine using like a cloth to apply your foundations, but this actually kind of worked kind of well. So I'm kind of shocked right now. I didn't expect it to blend this well, and so far I kind of like it. And next up, I'm usually gonna go in with my under eye brightener from Becca Under Eye Brightener. So usually I use this one with a beauty blender, but since you're using this for everything, I'm gonna go in again with this and dab a little bit into my products. And I'm gonna use this to blend on my under eye. So what the Becca does, it's gonna help lighting and brightening the under eye since it have a little bit more pinker tone. It also have color correcting also. And this one, I guess you can fold it many different ways to like perfectly apply your complexion. Doesn't matter if it's like cream, liquid, or powder. And after that, I feel like I need a little bit more foundation coverage around my cheek area. So I'm just gonna go in again with my foundations right here with the tip of the Blendiful. And I'm just gonna dab right on top where I need a little bit more coverage. And I got to say right now, this actually blend out really good. But I'm kind of shocked because usually you use this one like a makeup remover, one of those makeup remover cloth, the pink one, to remove your makeup. And this one actually is like the same type of fiber, but you're using this one to apply your makeup. So I wonder if you can just grab the other one and use it to blend in your face or make your own sponge. So next up, I'm gonna go in with a little bit more luminous for my skin. I'm gonna go in with the Hollywood Flawless Filt'r. I'm gonna put this on my cheek area, forehead, wherever I want a little bit more glow. And again, I'm just gonna go in with the same Blendiful sponge. Oh, why I'm keep calling it a sponge? It's not a sponge, it's more like a puff. I don't know what kind of black magic this is, but it's blending out so well. I'm so shocked right now. I'm all in like awe. Everything is so blended. It's so well. I think this is like the most even blend I ever got from like a sponge or I guess a fluff. And next up for cream contouring, I'm actually using this for like contouring and concealer also. So I'm just gonna go in and use this for contouring. And the contouring I'm using is the Huda Beauty Tantour contouring, and the color I'm using is in light. And it's a contour folding in half around your finger, used as stripping motion to pick up and lay down your contour to the angle of the face, then softly buff out edges. So I guess you fold it in half like this, picking up the products and go like this. So normally I'm using like a brush to apply my contouring, but this I guess you're using as like a application to picking up products. The only thing I have problem with it right now is the, I guess the precision of it, like the buffing of it is really good, but the precision of like trying to applying it is a little bit more tricky, or you just probably have to get used to the way you're applying it with a sponge like this and the way you're holding it. But so far everything is buffing out really well. Now I'm just going to use a little bit more for contouring my jawline. And I was always afraid to see, because this one you have to like swipe or you can just dab, and I'm always afraid it's going to like pick up or swipe off the makeup, but it doesn't. It's actually glide on top of your foundations really well, and everything blending out super easy. It doesn't like swipe up or take up a chunk of your foundations. Like it doesn't do that at all. So here is the face contouring so far, and next I'm just gonna go in to do a quick nose contouring, which I'm scared of because a nose contouring usually you need a little bit more precise and a little bit more precision and a thinner line, and this is such a big fluff. I guess you can use a smaller one, but this smaller one is to feel like it's a little bit more harder to bend. It's a little bit more denser, I feel this, but the big one feel a little bit more softer, and this one a little bit more stiffer, so it's easier for you to bend this one rather than use this one to like bend it. And plus this one, because it's so small and the material, when you bend it, it does create a little bit more bigger line, so you can't really go in with the small one to create like that small line of precision. So I'm just gonna go in with like a big one again and trying to get as close precision with this one as possible to do my nose contouring. And again, I'm just gonna pick up a little bit from the Huda Beauty Tantour Contouring Cream. And now I'm just going to go in and carefully pray to Jesus and do my nose contouring with it. And I guess this one, just like any other new tool that you just use, you just have to get used to it a little bit. And like the way you have to hold it. And now that I'm applying like the liner, I'm just going to go in and trying to blend everything out. And I guess you can always use a different corner, like a cleaner corner, to use that to like blend it and also take a little bit out of product. If you happen to use a little bit too much products, just go in with like a different cleaner corner to help blend that out. Okay, so that's going to be the nose contouring using the Blendiful from Tati Beauty. So the only thing with it is it's really hard to get a little bit more precision, because nose contouring you want a little bit more precision on your application. You want a thinner line, but this one you can try to get more like a thinner line, but then you have to like the way you have to hold it. It's really I wouldn't say uncomfortable. I guess you just have to get used to it, but you're not going to get like that precise line that you want. But the blendability of this like puff is really good. Like all over face, you can use this to blend all over your face. Really good one. But on your nose contouring, it could work. But I would rather using like a little bit more a brushy do it rather than like this sponge to get a little bit more precision. But if you only have this one sponge when you travel with, it could work. And next up, usually I'm going to go in with like a concealer. So I'm going to go in with more like a matte concealer palette right here. And the palette is in medium. And I'm just going to move into more like a cleaner corner to use for concealer, because I don't want to go back to like a darker area where I use more like a contouring. So I'm just going to go in more like a cleaner area and go deep into like my contouring shade. I'm going to try that to do my contouring. Okay, and now that my cream contouring, my foundation, and my concealer is already in there using the Blendiful sponge. Now the next step, usually I'm going to go in and set my powder, and the powder I'm using to go in is going to be the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Foundation. The color I'm using is in number 2. And I'm using more like a brush to to set my makeup. But since we're not using brush or beauty blender today, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to try the Tati Beauty, the smaller version of the Blendiful, the smaller one. So this one things you create for like a compact, and this is going to be like a compact. So I'm just going to press that in there. I'm going to go in and set my makeup. So growing up watching my mom doing her makeup, and she always using like a sponge a lot to applying like her powder. So just like this, it's really old school technique to applying your powder with this one, because the way you're applying, you actually press all the powder into your pores. And this sounds bad, but the more powder you press into your pores, it's kind of like filling it up and give you a little bit more like a flawless finish looking. So like old school makeup artists, usually a lot of sponges, like puff, to press into your skin, because it's going to give you a little bit more airbrush finish. Also, it's going to help dry out the foundations with the powder, and also make the foundation last longer throughout the day. And so far, it's really good. But for me, I already see a little bit of like a hair falling. So sometimes you get a little bit more like a little bit hair fluffy. That kind of like stick into the foundations. And usually by this point, I'm going to go in with like a bronzer. I'm not sure how this is going to work with the bronzer, but I guess we're going to try with a bronzer. So the bronzer I'm going to go in is going to be the Guerlain Terracota Sun Trio, and the color I'm using is in light, and it's have 3 different colors in here. I think I'm going to go in again with the Tati Beauty. This one, I guess I'm just going to go back to that corner since it's more like a bronzer, already bronzy. So I'm just going to tap that into like powder. I'm going to try to use this as bronzer. And so far it's actually kind of worked also. And we use this one to blend out like liquid foundations, cream contouring, cream concealer, and now we're gonna go in with the same corner to dab in more like a powder contouring, and it still works very well. It doesn't like clumps up right here, even though I'm using the same corner for like everything, cream, powder, liquid, whatever, and I'm using like a powder on top. And still, it doesn't really clumps up. You don't feel anything. It still works very well, and it's still blending out super nicely. And so far, I kind of like it. I'm kind of impressed, like how well it blends. This is gonna be Complexions. And normally I would say everybody would stop here, putting on a little bit lip mascara, and you'll be done throughout the day. So using just only this one for your complexion from like liquid, powder, cream, and whatever. I think you can also use this one for like cream blush. I don't have a cream blush around me right now, but actually we're gonna go in to do baking with this one also before we finishing up my makeup. So next up, we're gonna try this for bake. So the baking powder I'm using, this one is actually from Anastasia loose powder, and the color they have is from Bananas. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and flip to the other cleaner side of this one to bake. So I guess one trick is you can always, if this thing is on the way right here, you can always like fold this back here, and it's actually gonna flip to the other side, and now you have like another cleaner side right here for you to work in. And this gonna be your like cream liquid, and this side could be more like your powder. And the way I do my contouring powder is I like to bring the nose, make that nose really snatch. And usually I used wet beauty blender to do this step, because the way the beauty blender, when it's damp, is kind of like picking up the powder a little bit more better. It's not going to use that much powder when you use to bake, but see, this one more like a dry puff. It does pick up a little bit more powder for you to bake with, which is fine. And the way it's applying the powder is actually really smooth also. So I'm going more like a dabbing motion, because I'm afraid to do like a swiping motion and it would take everything off. That's gonna give you like a super easy line also. I'm gonna put a little bit more on top, because the first coat usually is gonna sink into your pores really quick. Okay, so now I feel like this is all the tool that she used for the Blendiful. Now I'm just gonna go in and finish my eye makeup, my brows, and I'm gonna put on the lips. And then when I come back, I'm gonna give you my final review on how I feel about this new launch of Tati Beauty Blendiful Puff. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I am back with the final makeup look using this week Blendiful from Tati Beauty new launch release of her beauty puff. So let's talk about it. So after using that for my whole complexion, practically everything from foundations to concealer to under eye corrector, and we're moving to powder, and also using it for powder bronzer, and also work really wonderful. So overall, I think this is amazing. I'm really shocked about using this one. It's really impressive. At first I got nervous for like a few minutes, but then after the first time applying it, it was like, what? It's so good. So the puff, I actually went and did a hand wash on this one to see what happened to it, and actually it's washed pretty easily. I'm using the beauty blender soap, a little bit of it, and everything, all the makeup come off. And after that I just press it on a piece of paper towels, and it's actually dried out pretty quick, and you can practically reuse it right away. And I don't think if you travel with this one, you're not gonna have time to like throw in a washer, or you're not gonna have a washer to like wash it in. So I don't think you would need to use it in a washer. You could, but you don't have to. You can just do a hand wash and it'll be fine. And so overall, I would say this is a yes for me. So I bought two, and I'm glad I bought two, because this one I'm gonna use it for like my kid or something, or I'm just gonna save it for later on when I'm gonna go on to travel. And speaking of travel, so this is the packaging that is coming. The only thing that I hope she change it, or maybe do something a little bit more better, is this plastic gonna be thrown away, and this gonna be like kind of a waste. I wish this was more like a Ziploc type of bag instead of more like a rip bag like this, because when you tear this you can't really reuse it. But if this more like a Ziploc type bag, you can always put this back inside if you happen to like travel, and just zip it back up and everything gonna be clean. Because with this powder puff right here, you can always throw it in around your makeup bag, and once you like taking it out, and if you happen to like leave eyeliner or lip liner or lipstick that is like the cap is falling off, it's gonna get so messy. And I know everybody's makeup bag is not that clean, so if you happen to throw this in your makeup bag, this whole puff will get so dirty so easily. So I just wish this bag right here that is came in is more like a Ziploc bag, so it's gonna be a little bit more reusable. Or if it came out of this bag with a little bit more like inside a reusable Ziploc bag, a smaller size of this one, so you can travel with this one, or this one, like in a smaller travel size Ziploc bag, so you can actually travel with this one. Just throw it into the plastic bag and it'd be a little bit more cleaner to travel with. That's just my only thing about this one. And another thing is I also use it to, I try to use it for every single thing. So I did go ahead and try to use it to dust off my bake powder also, and it was shocked that it's actually slowly dusting off my bake. And it was practically, you can use this for everything. Is this powder puff gonna replace your brush? I would say no, but it's gonna be a good option if you're just gonna carry this, only have this one on your trip, and majority of your complexion brush you don't really need, so you can like save all your brush at home, and you can only just bring this one to like your trip, and you like save a lot of space for your other makeup. It doesn't have to, you can always do a combination of like the puff for like a cream foundation and then a brush for like powder. That would be perfect too. And after using this for the first time today, I actually love it. And I feel like because you're using the puff to like really press in your pores with the powder and the complexion, and then the cream, everything is like really in there into your pores, your skin look a little bit more smoother, and I feel like this is gonna last longer throughout the day. And because you really press it into your pores and into all your fine line, it's kind of like minimize all that fine line, all that fine pores. You can't really see anything. This is gonna give you more like a flawless finish, totally airbrush finish, which I was shocked about. Like, I didn't expect this to be like that good. I always expect this to be leaving streaks and have hair falling out everywhere, but I'm like, what the heck, this is so good. Like, I can just do this every single day. And throughout the day, I'm just, if I happen to like be a little bit more oily, I can just use this one and blot. That would like just press everything back into place. So you can just use this one. You don't need to put any other powder on top, so you don't have to like layer more powder. This is gonna help absorb all the oil. And I actually haven't put on my blush yet, so I'm just gonna go in with the smaller puff from Tati Beauty. And the blush I'm gonna go in is from Milano Blushes, and the color is called Luminoso, everybody's favorite with this one. So now I'm just going to go ahead and press on my blush, and you can always press on the back of your hand just to make sure you don't get a lot of products into the puff. And you can just use that, smile, and that would, I feel like that would blend out your blushes also. I am totally sold on this thing. I hope you try this one. It is $18. It's really worth the money. And that's about it for this week. I'm gonna link every single products I used on my complexion today under the link down below. I didn't want to show you everything because we mostly focusing on the puff, so I'm just still gonna post everything down below. And with that said, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel right here, and don't forget to ring the bell right here also. And I post on YouTube every single Wednesday, also on a shorter version on Instagram, IGTV every single Friday. And with that said, don't forget to follow me on all my social media at bella.c.snow. So try this one out and let me know how you love it, and leave me a comment right down below. So until next week, bye bye.
burn, let's turn rubble from a love to light. Keep on, let the storm breathe, awake a little fire on.